Good morning, Ekoji. Morning. Welcome to the Sunday morning service. My name is Ed Sands, and I will be your service chairperson today. We are grateful for your presence. The service is being live streamed on Zoom and YouTube. I'm being IGene today as our resident minister, Reverend Nariaki Hayashi. Our main priority is keeping our Sangha a safe place to hear the Dharma. Although we are very happy to see each other, please be mindful of others' comfort levels. Please keep in mind the following policies. Please keep your masks on at all times. Be mindful of social distancing. We are allowed to chant along with Reverend Hayashi since we have a mask on. Thank you for understanding. If you're new to Ekoji, you'll find in the back of each seat pocket this laminated guide, which will help you through the service and answer many questions you may have regarding the service order, as well as the history and the essentials of Shin Buddhism. Today is a Shotsuki Sunday. On Shotsuki Sundays, we take time to remember our loved ones who have passed on. And so if you have lost a loved one during the previous month of December, you are invited during the chanting of the Sambutsuge to come forward and offer gasho in memory of your loved one. Reverend Hayashi will now lead us in opening meditation and recitation of the Nimbus.
Meditation provides the pause that prepares our mind to receive the Dharma, the Buddha's teaching. Please place your hands on your lap, lower your head slightly, and release tension for meditation. Namo Amidas. Namo Amidas. Namo Amidas. Namo Amidas.
Please find the laminated sheet which is inside the service book in the back of each seat pocket. And we will now sing the Nandana Tiksarana, the three refuges. Please rise. He is light and one, the supreme of faith and one. Buddham Sattvam Gacchami, Dhammam Saddam Gacchami, Sangham Saddam Gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dhamma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for Please be seated. Please turn to page 33 in the service book, and we will now chant the Sambutsuke. Thank you very much. Please turn to page 29 in the service book, and we will now chant the Sambutsuke. Please turn to page 33 in the service book and we'll now attempt the sound movements together. This morning, the Dharma message will be given by Reverend Ashoka.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to our Sunday service. Before I give my Dharma talk, I would like to observe a moment of silence for the lost lives in Midwest especially in Kentucky. 일절을 마셔. 나무 아미다 부츠. 나무 아미다 부츠. 나무 아미다 부츠. Thank you. So today is a Shotsuki Sunday. So the Shotsuki Sunday traditionally is held on the first Sunday of each month, but since last week was a special observance of Bodhi Day, which celebrates the enlightenment of Shakyamuni Buddha, we moved the Shotsuki Sunday to this Sunday. And on the Shotsuki Sunday, we as Ed mentioned, we remember our loved ones who have passed on before us. But this occasion is also a moment to reflect on and express our gratitude to all those who have passed down the Dharma we listen and the rituals we practice. This past few months, I have been choosing a ritual out of the many rituals we perform during service, and talk about the meaning and the significance of it. These rituals that we practice at temple are what the many individuals in the past have been practicing and passing down to our time. So I once talked about the ritual of raising the service book to our forehead before and after we do chanting, which we refer to as itadaku, literally meaning receive gratefully. So that's why we raise the service book to our forehead. And this gesture this is a gesture to show our respect and gratitude to the teachings of Buddha, and also to all those who have passed down the teachings to our time. I also talked about the ritual of reciting the Nimbus, Namo Amida Butsu, which is the name of Amida Buddha. As I mentioned before, doctrinally, Amida Buddha is understood to be the embodiment of the truth of enlightenment, which is wisdom and compassion, but in a personified form of a Buddha. The point of reciting Namo Amida Butsu, the name of Amida Buddha, is that it is not we who are calling on Amida Buddha, but Amida Buddha is calling on us, through our recitation of the Nimbus. And I also talked about why we do Gasho, why we put our palms together. The point of Gasho is that by bringing your both hands against your chest, this makes a gesture of bringing in rather than pushing out, so that it symbolizes better thankfulness rather than asking for something to happen. So a gasho is not a gesture for asking for a favor or praying for something to happen, which is done in other religions, but should be thought of as meaning thank you rather than please. Thank you rather than please. And this gesture of gasho is usually accompanied with by a slight bow. So today I want to talk about the ritual of bowing. The ritual bowing is performed many times during our time at the temple. Like, when we enter this main hall or the hondo, we stop and we bow and we enter. And when we also exit, we also stop and we face the altar and bow and leave. We also bow when we put our palms together in basho and recite the Nimbus, Namo Amida Butsu, either when we are standing or sitting. Bowing is traditionally known as Daihai, and it is said in India there are 9 forms of bowing or Daihai. In China, there are 18 forms, and in Japan, there are 3 forms. Obviously, I don't have enough time to explain the whole thing, but I do want to share 3 common ones. So the first one is called Untitled, which literally means the bowing with the 5 body parts touching the ground. Bowing with the 5 body parts touching the ground. This is the most formal bowing in all Buddhist countries and traditions. It is performed by touching the ground with your both knees, both elbows, and your forehead. So that's the 5 body parts. And in some traditions, it is done by lying completely, on the ground, face down. The next is called Yuhai, which is known as the Salutation Bow. So this is a slight bow from your waist without putting your palms together and to an angle of about 15 degrees. This is what we do when we enter and exit. So we put our hands on the side and then we bow 15 degrees when we enter and exit this hondo. And the last one is called Aruki Yuhai, which is Salutation Bow while walking. So this is not known much because it is mainly done by Buddhist ministers. So this Aruki Yuhai is a slight bow, always done when passing before, as opposed to approaching the central object on the Naiji, which in our case is 6 factors of Namo Amida Butsu. Maybe I should show. So when we pass the center, the central object, we bow. But you could either stop. And bow and then continue on. But you can also walk and bow and just continue on. So this is called the Aruki Yuhai. And the reason why it is only mainly done by Buddhist ministers is because, normally you approach towards, the Naiji. So there's no, opportunities to, cross the central object. But the ministers, will always cross. So that's why this Aruki Yuhai is mainly done by the Buddhist ministers. So the key point of bowing is that even though bowing is a physical action, the state of mind that motivates the action is most important. The ideal state of mind is the willingness of learning, receiving, and accepting the Buddhist teachings or Dharma. But in order to have that willingness, you need a deep respect and a humble attitude that is the essence of bowing towards not only the teaching, but also the teacher. This is expressed in the story of Dharmakara in the largest sutra. The largest sutra is a sutra fundamental to our denomination of Shin Buddhism. And in the largest sutra, Dharmakara Bodhisattva meets his teacher, Lokesvaraja Buddha, knelt down at his feet, walked around him 3 times, keeping him always on his right, prostrated himself on the ground and put his palms together and respectfully praised him. So this is how it's written in the large sutra. And the Dharmakara's words of praising his teacher is actually the content of the Sambutsuge we just chanted this morning. So the Sambutsuge is the words of Dharmakara's, praising his teacher, Lokesvaraja. And after Dharmakara Bodhisattva expressed his words, he receives the Dharma from his teacher, Lokesvaraja, and proclaimed his wish to become a Buddha himself and engage in practice. And according to the large sutra, eventually Dharmakara Bodhisattva became a Buddha named Amida Buddha. So this is the story of Dharmakara Bodhisattva in the large sutra, which expresses the spirit of respect and humility in receiving the Dharma from a teacher. In fact, I think we all have, this the similar ability to that of Dharmakara Bodhisattva. For example, when you are in your first class of something you really wanted to learn, you want to learn and absorb as much information as you can because you want to be good at it and you want to be knowledgeable about what you're learning. So you will naturally have a very respectful and humble attitude when you learn and receive the teachings from your teacher. But there's also a difference between learning about something at a class and learning the Dharma. That is, Buddhism values wisdom over knowledge. So in Buddhism, wisdom is more important than knowledge. And of course, this does not mean that Buddhism denies knowledge, because knowledge is an important aspect in learning. But Buddhism understands the danger of a person who tries only to accumulate knowledge. Knowledge is to intellectually accumulate information, facts, and intelligence about something. The tendency we all have is that the more we accumulate our knowledge, we tend to think we know better than others, or we are better than others. So we become more arrogant and superior. Conversely, wisdom spoken in Buddhism is in the awareness of how we tend to be arrogant and superior because of our knowledge. There's a Buddhist saying that goes, knowledge makes us raise our head, but wisdom makes us lower our head. Knowledge makes us raise our head, but wisdom makes us lower our head. In this saying, raising one's head refers to a person who is becoming arrogant and superior, and lowering one's head refers to a person who is becoming humbler and humbler because one is aware of one's tendency. So, wisdom prevents arrogance and allows us to gain humility. Thus, we lower our heads in the form of bow. Therefore, bowing is a ritual that is very important in Buddhism, which is to cultivate our deepest respect, humility, and wisdom towards the Buddha Dharma. Please join me in question. By reciting the Nimbus Namo Amida Butsu, we are reminded what makes our individual lives even more meaningful, and we are also reminded the Dharma in times of need. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
As this is Shotsuki Sunday, this is a reading of White Ashes by Renyo Shonin. In silently contemplating the transient nature of human existence, nothing is more fragile and fleeting in this world than the life of man. Thus, we have not heard of human life lasting for 10,000 years. Life swiftly passes, and who among men can maintain his form for even 100 years? Whether I go before others or others go before me, whether it be today or whether it be tomorrow, who is to know? Those who leave before us are as countless and as fragile as the drops of dew. Though in the morning we may have radiant health, in the evening we may be white ashes. When the winds of impermanence blow, our eyes are closed forever, and when the last breath leaves us, our face loses its color. Though loved ones gather and lament, everything is of no avail. The body is then sent into an open field and vanishes from this world with the smoke of cremation, leaving only the white ashes. There is nothing more real than this truth of life. The fragile nature of human existence underlies both the young and the old, and therefore we must, one and all, turn to the teaching of the Buddha and awaken to the ultimate source of life. By so understanding the meaning of death, we shall come to fully appreciate the meaning of this life, which is unrepeatable and thus to be treasured above all else. By virtue of true compassion, let us realize the unexcelled value of our human existence, and let us live with the Nimbutsu, Namo Mittabutsu, in our hearts. During this part of the service, we participate in the ritual of Ashoka, traditionally the burning of incense. However, due to the interim policies of the board of directors and the influence of the COVID virus, incense burning is not being allowed, as it would involve the handling of incense portions and would result in smoke. We invite you to come forward to the front table, offer gasho, and should you wish, place any dana, which is our offering of gratitude to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha in the bowl on the table. Please approach mindfully with safe distancing. Once finished, please return to your seats via the side aisles. Thank you. Reverend Hayashi will now lead us in closing meditation and recitation of the Nimbus.
Namo Nimbus. Namo Nimbus. Namo Nimbus.
I have announcements here somewhere.
Somewhere, I know they're there. It's too dry. Oh, there we are. Okay, so our Sunday service is followed by our weekly Dharma discussion group, and all are welcome to participate. Simply pull up a chair around the computer or stay on the Zoom. If you will be joining us for in person for future services, kindly continue to RSVP in advance. Wear a mask and allow adequate spacing between households. Please save the date and join us on New Year's Eve for our candlelight service at 7:30 p.m. and on Sunday, January the 2nd at 11 a.m. to celebrate the new year. Candles can be ordered online and the link is on our website. Our end of the year solicitation is underway. We humbly ask you to please consider making a tax deductible donation to Ekoji. Every dollar counts, so please give what you can afford. Meditation will take place on Thursday at 7:30 p.m. here in the Hondo. Newcomers are invited to arrive early. Thank you.
Namo Nimbus.
Namo Nimbus.
Namo Nimbus.
Namo Nimbus.
Namo Nimbus.
Namo Nimbus.
There were some test conventions that I saw. Maybe that's.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.